Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to speak to you all today. First, I would like to thank Dr. Bimal Patel for his gracious invitation to address the participants of the Raksha Shakti University's Advanced Certificate course on Counter-Insurgency and Counter-Terrorism. Thank you also to Professor Bhawani Singh Rathore for helping make this video address possible. The subject of your course is especially relevant in these challenging times. As the world's second largest state in terms of population and third largest economy in the world in terms of purchasing power, India, of course, has a very significant role to play in global affairs. Indeed, the role will be heightened in the coming years, especially in the area of counterterrorism, when India joins the Security Council and its subsidiary committees, including the Counterterrorism Committee, or CTC, for the period 2021 to 2022. My colleagues and I at the Counterterrorism Committee Executive Directorate, or CTAD, look forward with great anticipation to working closely with India as a member of the committee. Let me also mention the COVID-19 pandemic that the United Nations Secretary General recently described as the #1 global security threat in our world today. At this moment in history, there is an urgent need for concerted, multilateral responses to a range of global security threats, including both terrorism and the virus. And we know that the people and government of India have much to contribute towards the formulation of responses to both those threats. By way of background, I would briefly note that CTC is the main counterterrorism body of the UN Security Council. CTAD, which I lead, is a day-to-day working arm of the CTC. The CTC was created in 2001 when the Security Council adopted its resolution 1373, less than 2 weeks after the 9/11 attacks against the United States. Council Resolution 1373 and numerous subsequent resolutions obligate member states to take certain measures to counter terrorism. The CTC and CTAD are primarily concerned with assessing member states' implementation of Resolution 1373 and subsequent resolutions by conducting country assessment visits and engaging in relevant follow-up activities. CTAD facilitates technical assistance for its recommendations and provides trend analyses to the CTC. CTAD also promotes policy papers of the Security Council and CTC, as well as international good practices. To date, CTAD has conducted over 168 assessment visits, including one to India in November 2006. Depending on several factors, the assessment visits may cover a wide range of issues such as legislation, criminal justice, countering terrorism financing, countering terrorist abuse of information and communication technologies, and issues relating to foreign terrorist fighters. At the CTC and CTAD, just as at all other UN entities, we mainstream human rights and gender equality issues into our work in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations. I shall not go into detail about the various Council resolutions that govern our work, as you will have the opportunity to hear about them at greater length from my colleague, Mrs. Elizabeth Joyce, who is the Chief of CTAD's Asia section. And Mrs. Joyce will also be available to take your questions. When India was last on the CTC, from 2011 to 2013, its current Minister of Civil Aviation, the Honorable Hardeep Puri, was India's permanent representative to the United Nations, serving as chair of the CTC. Under Ambassador Puri's leadership, the CTC and CTAD launched several groundbreaking initiatives. One such initiative was the South Asia Dialogue on Countering Terrorism, which was based on a series of regional workshops which CTAD convened along with an implementing partner that brought together judges, prosecutors, and police officers. Through 13 workshops held over a period of 10 years, over 300 judges, prosecutors, and police from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, the Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka have been sharing experiences, lessons learned, and best practices on how to counter terrorism, both in your region and beyond. The aim of these workshops, one of which was hosted by the Government of India in March 2012 during Ambassador Puri's tenure as CTC chair, was to promote habits of regional cooperation, expand professional networks, and develop a regional platform for the delivery of technical assistance and training. The South Asia dialogue has generated several follow-up initiatives which have expanded the dialogue beyond its core and continues to address the needs of the states of South Asia. We look forward to having India as a member of CTC once more and to renewing our constructive and fruitful engagement. We are aware that India has made great strides in its efforts to counter terrorism and violent extremism since the suffering it endured during and in the immediate aftermath of the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attacks. We know that in response to the Mumbai attacks and other security incidents, India has introduced several institutional reforms, including the creation of the National Investigation Agency, and developed many other good practices in countering terrorism and violent extremism. CTAT is keen to learn about your experiences, and we know that you possess valuable expertise, and we hope to facilitate the sharing of that expertise and experience with other states facing similar challenges. Rest assured that CTAT, acting on behalf of the CTC, remains determined to support India's ongoing efforts to counter terrorism and violent extremism as these threats inevitably evolve and confront us with even greater challenges. I wish you all a successful course and I look forward to hearing about your experiences. Once again, I thank Dr. Patel for inviting me to address you all today. Thank you for your attention.